guys, we have an urgent breaking news coming out when it comes to nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Authorities in Taiwan have unveiled a comprehensive new guide outlining emergency procedures for millions should the Red Dragon launch an invasion. So once again, Taiwan hands out 36-page of the Red Dragon Invasion Handbook to residents in WW3 threat. Alright, so we're going to see what's going on here, guys. Basically, the population are being told that you need to prepare yourself, and this could happen any moment. So yeah, we're going to see what's going on with this one here, guys. Once again, nation against nation is building up in 2025. Before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. And for those of you that want to contribute to the channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also the description box. Thank you again for your support. Your support what keeps us on air. Alright, so the manual feature detailed checklist and preparedness question design to help residents, millions, plan for various crisis scenarios from military strike to natural catastrophe. Alright, so hopefully we have the information here, what it says in the booklet. Released by Taiwan All-Out Defense Mobilization Agency, this updated handbook aims to boost public preparedness through a more accessible, user-friendly approach. Agency Director Shen explained that the Russia-Ukraine conflict prompted officials to significantly expand the document's content. Now, Mr. Shen said today's new edition of the National Defense Handbook is about how to enhance and raise public awareness of crisis and strengthen the ability for self-defense. That's the key word, self-defense, meaning that when things hit the fan, you need to do your part as a population. You need to do your part too when it comes to defending yourself. So again, these biblical wars is very, very brutal, guys. So again, you have a lot of preppers out there that put out some really good stuff. Again, big shout out to NY Prepper Greg. Big shout out to Canadian Prepper. There's a lot of prepper news out there, and a lot of watchmen and a lot of watchwomen out there. Again, we sound the alarms so people prepare for these events, and the Bible says that it will happen. These nation against nation will rise. So once again, it says here, the Red Dragon capital regards Taiwan as part of its sovereign territory, and tensions between the neighboring regions have intensified dramatically in recent years. Official dialogue between the Red Dragon and Taiwan has ceased entirely. The Red Dragon authorities have expanded Coast Guard patrol operations while increasing both the frequency and magnitude of military drills targeting the island. It's just a matter of time when things start hitting the fan. The Red Dragon military, the army, sends military planes and Navy ships towards Taiwan on a daily basis. They do, guys, they do. They even surround the islands and stuff and do their military exercise. Once again, Taiwan Ministry of National Defense reported that this week alone, between Monday and Tuesday, the Red Dragon military deployed 24 fighter jets, drones, and support aircraft towards the island. Officials also tracked 11 Navy vessels and 6 additional of the Red Dragon ships during the same period, under the leadership of the president of the, I'm gonna skip the name, the island Taiwan Gov, is increasingly emphasizing the public's role in defending against a potential military invasion. The comprehensive 36-page guide provides checklist for emergency evacuation. So that checklist, again, this is very important. I know this is happening in the island, but again, this is also going to happen to us eventually in the future. So the checklist, all right, the 36-page, this is very important, provides checklists for emergency evacuation, bags, and offers strategy information for various crisis scenarios, including how to recognize air raid and tsunami sirens. All right, you guys already know we don't have that type of problem, but out there, again, that's the Pacific Ring of Fire. All right, so they do have two different sirens: tsunami sirens, and they have the war sirens. So it's very important for them to know the difference between these sirens. And guys, we, in our part, we already know when things are gonna hit the fan. We see that this is only a test. That television broadcast that's been going on for many years. That's our sirens, and of course, the presidential text alert. An online version of this essential handbook includes links to apps that display emergency shelter locations and videos explaining what to do in emergency situations. Now, the guide also suggests keeping drinking water, sleeping bags, and raincoats ready for travel, as well as storing a week's supply of necessities such as canned food, toilet paper, and pet food. Once again, guys, this is very important here. Another very important guide information is suggesting that people should stock up food, sleeping bags, raincoat, coats, and toilet paper, pet food, and I think it's very important to have a first aid kit and stuff like that. Number one, the King James Version Bible. You need to have that. In the section on military action, the guide warns of warning like a non-friendly actors conducting live fire drills near the island or unilaterally declaring a no-fly zone under the pretext of military exercises. Here's the thing, guys. When it comes to things hitting the fan and the end times, I mean, it's going to be hard to trust people in those times. It's going to be very hard. There's going to be people out there that's going to pretend to be your friend and set you up. When there's no food and the supermarket is empty and stuff like that, you're on your own. I mean, you can have your family and stuff like that, but again, it's going to be a really tough time when the biblical war hits the fan. Give me a second here, guys. I want to bring this one up too. So the island launched a new civil defense handbook Tuesday, providing a more user-friendly revamp, highlighting the urgency of strengthening a civilian response in case of an invasion by the Red Dragon. The handbook, issued by the All-Out Defense Mobilization Agency, features checklists and questions to help residents plan for crises ranging from military invasion to natural disaster on the earthquake-prone island. Now, since the outbreak of the Bear Crane War, we have felt that much more information needs to be added. Alright, so today, new edition of the National Defense Handbook is about how to enhance and raise public awareness of crisis, as well as strengthening the ability for self-defense. The civil defense emphasized in face of the Red Dragon warning. The island, a self-ruled island off the coast of the Red Dragon, is claimed by the Red Dragon capital as part of its Soviet territory. In recent years, tensions between the two sides have risen sharply as the Gov have seized official communications. So you got one side saying they belong to us. You got the other side saying no, they're independent. So the red, excuse me, the Red Dragon, they keep saying no, that's our territory. They're not independent. All right. So it says here, while the Red Dragon has long made claims over the island, it also has stepped up the number of Coast Guard patrols and the scope and scale of its military exercises aimed at the island, such as large-scale exercises simulating a blockade. Now it says here, the Red Dragon Army sends military planes and Navy ships towards the island on a daily basis. Now between Monday and Tuesday, the Red Dragon military sent 24 fighter jets, drones, and support aircraft towards the island, according to a statement from the Island Ministry of National Defense, which counted 11 Navy vessels and 6 other Red Dragon ships. Now it says here, the Island Gov, under the leader of the Democrat, Progressive Party, has responded by increasingly emphasizing the public's role in defending against a possible military invasion. You have the guide features checklist and warning scenario. The 36-page guide features checklists on what to prepare for, emergency evacuation bags, and offers strategies and information for different scenarios, including how to recognize air raid and tsunami sirens. An online version of the handbook also provides links to apps showing emergency shelter location. See, that's something that we need. That is something that we need, and that's something that I've been doing my own research. Location of these shelters or underground bunker. Sadly, here in Florida, we don't have bunkers because of rising sea level and stuff like that. So Florida is going to be a really tough situation when WW3 hit the fan. But again, these countries out there, including Europe, they have apps that tells them where the nearest shelter or bunker is located. We don't have that. But the powerful people in this country, they have the underground city stuff. We? An online version of the handbook also provides links to apps showing emergency shelters, locations, and instructional videos for emergency situation. Other recommendations, including having drinking water, sleeping bags, and raincoats, prepared for travel, and storing a week's supply necessities such as canned food, toilet paper, and pet food. The military action sections warns of warnings such as non-friendly actors conducting live fire drills near the island or unilaterally declaring a no-fly zone under the guise of military exercises. Alright, so a lot of this stuff here we already know. Hold on, give me a second here. The Gov effort is a reflection of a movement in the island recognizing the role that civilians must play in response to a possible invasion. Now, the island's civil society also has been proactive on the issue in recent years. Puma said, the founder of Kuma, skip all that information, who donated $1 billion new island money, which is $32 million, to assist with preparation. So you got people putting in so much money for this preparation. That's a lot of money. All right. So when you see signs like this, when you see signs like handing out handbooks and 36 pages on what to do, what to expect, and preparing emergency bug out kits and stuff like that, when you see stuff like being handed to population, it means it's getting closer and closer to seeing something hitting the fan. And again, guys, I'm not trying to spook no one here, but we are definitely at the right time of Bible prophecy that Jesus says that nation against nation will build up, and we are seeing it. All right, when speaking of peace and safety, or peace and security, then sudden destruction shall follow. Same thing is happening in Europe. They're handing out all these flyers or templates. All right, they're urging citizens out there again to stock up, and they also put out one of those emergency text alert drill that happened last week. All right, so we are definitely seeing some preparation here. Well, we not seeing it. We listening and seeing what's going on in other countries, but us here, we not being prepared, and we should. We should. We, the sleeping giant, we need to be prepared too. We need to be prepared. That's why you have all these preppers and watchmen and watchwomen sounding the alarm here. You need to be prepared spiritually with Christ. You need to be prepared spiritually with Christ. Repent. Believe in Jesus, for he is the only way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through Jesus. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Do me a favor, hit that like, hit that notification, and hit that subscribe button. I will keep you updated when it comes to nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom in the year 2025. And it's building up really quick, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.